What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Epic 7 video. We have so much to talk about today, guys. This is one of the biggest patches we've had in a while. That wasn't like a major update. New characters, new 3 stars, new EEs. There's so much we need to discuss, and I can't wait to go through all of it with y'all. But I think we're going to have to cut it up into at least 2 different videos. So let's do like the whole summary, patch notes, everything condensed, and then we'll save the first impressions of probably just Bihu and ML Furious for the other video. We'll maybe cover the 3 stars in this one too, but we'll try to zoom through this part and then get to the first impression. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and let's get into the video. Real quick before we start, you know I got y'all. The password for the chest is Peacemaker, so type that in and get your free leaves and gold. Sometimes it's hard to find, but yeah, there it is, guys. Alrighty, y'all, let's go ahead and check it out, what we got in this 1-minute update summary. We also have the patch notes on a separate page we'll pull up after. So let's pause real quick. New hero Bihu with his side story. New hero Peacemaker Furious. What do you guys think about his new look? Definitely looks a lot different than, right, the 4-star Ice Furious. World Arena schedule. Just a heads up, guys, if we don't get to cover it, that will be ending pretty soon here. And both Furious and Bihu will not be allowed in real-time arena, the ranked part, right? I think you can still use them in lobbies, but just be aware of that. Just for, like, competitive purposes. Okay, next up, guys, next page, we got new skin concept art for LQC, Little Queen Charlotte, and I believe she's in this video, so we'll take a look at that. We'll see. Episode revamp coming. I believe there's a lot of quality of life, maybe making these easier, condensing. New exclusive equipment for Sharoon and Crow, and then a lot of new 3-star heroes. There's a bunch of them there. Okay. Let's skip the Bihu because we will take our time and watch his own video, but he does come with his own artifact. And there's the side story, guys. Next up is Peacemaker Furious. Also, we'll do the first impressions for there. But yeah, let's skip through that real quick. Here we go. World Arena Triumph season ending February 4th. Okay, so any of you guys that are watching that want to lock in that Masters or higher champ Emperor for the frames, a lot of y'all just Masters for your LQC skin, right? Make sure y'all are aware of the date and you start preparing for that. Get your ducks in order. All right, so World Arena Prime Season. Here's the Little Queen Charlotte. I didn't even really look at it before, guys. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I mean, I'll definitely rock it. I wasn't a big fan of, like, Maid Chloe's ML5 skin at the start, but it's grown on me, and I definitely use it all the time now. So I expect I'll probably use this one, too. I end up pretty much using most of the skins, unless there's very few that I don't use. But yeah, you know, not immediately my favorite, but I think it looks great overall. The design looks cool. And yeah, I'll probably end up rocking it. I want to see the in-game model, though. This is just the concept art so far, right? It's called Elegant Excursion. Okay, next up, guys, we have the new EEs for Crow. One of the, he is an OG, right? He was in the base game, and he's always just been a solid knight. But lately, he's kind of been, you know, he comes back here and there. Always been good in Guild Wars, probably Arena too. But RTA, at least, there's stiff competition for a spot. And lately, it's been Yulha, who's kind of taken that role with the big nuke, right? The provokes. But now, Crow can kind of match that provoke. He'll get increased speed as well. And if you guys want, you can also have some versatility in the form of speed on his charge. Or cooldown, 2 turns of cooldown reduce on Siegfried, the big skill 3 where he rides the horse, which is kind of crazy in an extended match, right? So we'll have to see. 10 speed, nothing to scoff at. 100% chance provoke, or I believe that's 100%. Let me know if I'm incorrect on that, guys. I'll double check after the video. But yeah, I think he's 75 base, which is always awkward because a lot of other knights, right, Fallen Cecilia and Eula have 100% chance to provoke, and Crow kind of he got left behind. He got power crept in that regard, at least. So it's nice to see him have that option. I know I'm going for skill 1 or skill 3, depending on probably what content I'm doing, Guild Wars or RTA, and then 10 speed extra. I think Crow's going to feel very, very nice. Next up, guys, we have Sharoon, who's going to get some effectiveness. Skill 2, just trust me. Increase combat radius of the caster by initial 5%. Okay, not too much here. She has another option for skill 2. The barrier strength increases, and then skill 3, you get a 1-turn cooldown. So not quite like as exciting as some other EEs, but I think anything in addition to Sharoon, don't expect this to like change how she plays, right? But every bit is like she'll get a stat boost in effectiveness, and then she'll get either extra CR, combat rating, or barrier strength, or skill cooldown reset, or lowered cooldown on her skill 3. I mean, if you already liked using Sharoon, guys, you'll still be using Sharoon. Those of you that haven't used her yet or don't plan to use her, I don't think this is going to make you use her. But I think with DDR getting changed as well, Death Dealer Ray, ML Ray, maybe Sharoon is going to come out a little bit more. I've seen them used together by some people, so we'll have to see. Kind of interesting. One other thing to quick note, guys. There's only 2 exclusive equipments, which usually they bring out 3, and I think this is fine. If that means like they're gonna have more thought and you know, more. It just felt like some of the exclusive equipments that came out recently felt maybe rushed, or they were just trying to fill that 3 EE quota. So if the quality of the E's is great, even if it's 2, I think that's fine as long as they maintain a schedule, right? What do y'all think about that? All right, let's take a look at the new 3-star heroes, boys. We got like 2 villagers. I believe this is, I thought this was one of the Foxers, but this is, I think, Para's assistant or something. This is the leader of the Shadow Elves, and I'm not sure who this, maybe Arunka's tribe? I'm not too sure on the lore here, but we got Junie, Lilka, Talaz, Talia, and Suthan. Oh, if we have a chance, we'll take a quick look at their skills on the patch note section after this preview. I do want to quickly look at what they do. Here's the episode revamp. Let's see what this is about. There's Bellion looking great. The overall difficulty of clearing the AP Exchange and Lock mission episode 2, Trust missions episode 3, and Awaken Auden mission in episode 4 will be lowered. That's very good, guys, especially for Auden. Can you guys let me know if you've been grinding? Auden is actually really, really strong for a lot of areas of the game. Now that Light Auden is out for PvP, I think a lot of y'all should be picking her up if you haven't already. She's very, very strong, but the grind is absolutely crazy. It was so difficult to do. Yeah, so the fact that they're making this a lot easier, kudos to Smilegate. So that'll make your lives a little bit easier. I already did it, so I don't get any kind of ease through it, but yeah. It's always nice to have a little bit of a catch-up mechanic. Unrecorded history improvements. This was announced, I believe, 2 weeks ago, right? The stages are reduced and AP Exchange will be merged. I've been hearing, though, guys, if you haven't done unrecorded history, double check. It's one of these modes. I believe it's this, unrecorded history, right? If they're merging this, make sure y'all get the quest rewards or the individual stage rewards, because if they merge everything and reduce the amount of stages, if it's all in one stage, you might lose out on those potential rewards. You can't go back and get them, okay? So I would try and look right now, if you haven't already, try to get what you can through there in case when they merge it, right? It seems like there's not going to be an opportunity to get those missed like star rewards or the overall quest rewards, okay? So double check that. A lot of veterans have already finished all that, though. So hero side story improvements. Players can choose a hero side story and unlock a drop. This was announced a while back, so it's finally coming out, I guess. I thought it was already in here, but now we have a drop rate up banner for one of the heroes from the side story. Always cool, right? If y'all are missing something, just be careful, guys, because nowadays after the Espa collab and a lot of people are waiting for slime, if there's any more limited heroes, just be careful. Only go for the units that you're really wanting. In this day and age, there's so many solid units right now. A lot of them can fulfill spots that maybe you already have other alternatives for, and instead you might want to wait for collab or limiteds, because just as a free-to-play or a new player, bookmarks they'll disappear like crazy. Chronicle update. Okay, a little bit of a, lore stuff for quality of life. Here's drop rate up, guys, for Ida. Ken, same thing, guys, unless you really, those are your favorite heroes. Ken in a rough spot in his artifacts, still not amazing even after the buffs. Just be careful spending bookmarks. Try to save for some serious like limited or collabs, unless it's your absolute all-time favorite hero, like mine would be for Arya, right? I already have a maxed out Arya, though. Maybe I'll get some more Arya's with powder, but yeah, try to save your bookmarks when you can, boys, okay? There's Bihu. We'll talk about him in Furious after, but here's the summon rotation. It's kind of stacked, boys. So Little Queen Charlotte, she's getting a skin. I'm actually expecting her to get buffs on this upcoming balance patch. We'll have to see about that. Conquer Lilies, obviously, if you didn't get her from Headhunt, or if you're getting someone else from Headhunt, this might be an opportunity to try to get her. Remnant Violet has been very good, guys. I think he's the real deal. I think in the right spot, if you draft or use him well, he can be solid. If you have the gear, you just got to be okay with some RNG in your games. And Arbiter Vildred, you still got to put some respect on his name, but he's definitely he's long fallen from where he used to be in his prime. So maybe be careful on pulling for him. Furious, we're going to separate that into his own video. And here's the coin shop rotation, guys. Ruel, who's not really so amazing right now. Archman Shadow can be very good, but she's kind of falling off a little bit. And Designer Lilibet always has a spot, right, in that anti-debuff, maybe sometimes anti-cleave, kind of anti-aggro, anti-aggressive matchup where she can kind of cleanse, push up, sometimes just complete nuke squishies. But yeah, here we go, guys. There's coin shop rotation. Let's go and take a quick crack at the patch notes. Just skim through it. Alrighty, guys. Let's quickly skim through this because this video's already gone pretty long. I don't want to spend too long on it. Just highlight the stuff that I really want to talk about with y'all. And a lot of this I kind of covered already, right, in the previous portion during the 1-minute summary video. Like all this side story, select a hero. Remember what I said about that. Try to save your bookmarks when you can, unless you really love the hero. But we'll just highlight a few things like this part, guys, as well as mentioning with the consolidation of the unrecorded history. Read this part here, guys. So for players that already did it, you can actually get to do this again. So as of watching this, if you haven't already hustled and done unrecorded history, try to get whatever you can done, because once this gets consolidated, you can't go back and get the original stuff in the game already, and instead this will be the new mode. Right now, if you do it now, you can get extra on top of it, okay? So just a quick way to get some extra Sky Stones, gold, and Molagora if you hustle right now. A lot of people, I think, have already finished the unrecorded history though, right guys? All right, let's keep moving along here. There's a lot of stuff, guys, that I'm hovering over that I wish we could cover all of it, but then our video would be like 30 minutes long. Here's the 3-star heroes. Let's quickly look through it. I browsed them earlier, but we have Junie, right? She has Fighting Spirit with some perception buffs. She's like an anti-revive hero, as we can see here. Remember, these are also some consolidated notes as well. They don't have like the full like costs of everything, as well as imprint info, things like that, stats. But we can kind of get a gist of what they want to be doing. 3-star hero, anti-revive. She'll get perception buff, as well as more fighting spirit, and that you can hit everybody with a huge club swing that has a 100% chance to de-break and unbuffable, as well as decrease the buff durations of all allies by 2 turns. Okay, kind of cool. Talaz, who's the anime protagonist looking guy. I guess he's taking Roz's or Ken's spot now. Attacks the enemy with a provoke. When attacked, has a 40% chance to counterattack. I always like characters like that. Fighting Spirit again. Increased combat readiness of the caster, as well as decreased cooldown of Soulful Strike right here, guys. And this thing, Soulful Strike, full power, decreased. So he has D-break 100%, I'm assuming, unless these notes don't have all the info. But when the target is inflicted with Provoke, it gets more damage as well. Okay, kind of a basic character. He's tanky, probably tanky. Provokes, counters, leads into that big skill 3 that will do extra damage if they're provoked. Lilka, who has no icon here, but I believe she's the one with the cat ears. She has a D-break as well. Increases attack of the caster and the ally with the highest attack, as well as has a lot of combat readiness manipulation with a stipulation. Sorry, guys, for the words, the big words there. But yeah, there is a kind of a, what do you call it, a requirement here. Increase combat readiness of the target ally by an additional 50 if the target in question is 35% or less on the bar. Okay. Like a little tricky, but yeah, it's just a lot of combat readiness stuff here alongside a D-break. And then skill 3, 100% chance she throws a grenade that decreases attack and speed for 2 turns. And if they're ice, increases speed of the allies for 2 turns. Okay, kind of interesting. She is a Earth Ranger Gemini. Talia here, guys, a thief. This is the light unit. She has a D-break, grants immunity to an ally and herself, as well as barrier to everybody. And that'll scale off attack. Okay, the thief that kind of has some support capabilities. And then her skill 3, 100% chance to dispel 2 buffs and make them unable to be buffed, unbuffable essentially. And then the skill cannot trigger a counter attack. And she can 20 soul burn that, or 20 souls, yeah, for ignore ER. Suthan, the leader of the Shadow Elves. He is a dark mage. Here's the dark unit. He has a 50% chance to burn. All right, that's kind of low, but 2-turn burn. And he can increase that to 100%. If he uses 10 souls. After attacking, I'm assuming this is a passive, he gets increased attack and effectiveness of the caster by 5%, up to 5%, stacking up to 10 times. So 50% attack, 50% effectiveness. Could be very good for maybe PvE in a long, drawn-out match. He can hit some insane numbers. And then his skill 3 releases mana to attack all enemies and has a 75% chance, max of 100, to make them unhealable and inflict burns. Okay, so like a dart kind of carrot. Has no actual detonate, but maybe some nice scaling. We'll have to see, guys. A lot of these 3 stars, they're not going to be amazing until they get a special change later down the line. But you always have units like, what, from the last batch or one of the previous batches, like Camilla, Penelope. They'll make a splash somewhere in like some PvE or expeditions. Hopefully one of these or 2 of these are usable in PvP or just other PvE areas. And if you guys like how they look, hey, have fun building them, right? They don't cost any mola. Always nice to see new characters. We talked about the new EEs for Crow and Sharoon. Here's the Advent, guys. I want to show y'all something real quick. I spy that we have a speed box in here, which usually correlates to the drops being the same. So the drop table for the Advent boss, guys, will have sub-gems of speed, counter. Is that Revenge? I think that's Revenge, guys. I don't use KD sets too much besides pen set. I believe. Yeah, so we'll see. The fact that there's speed and counter there, though, I'm going to be farming like crazy. And if you guys have extra energy and you're already hitting that point of the game where you want a lot of those sub-gems, and most of y'all will want this to fix up your stats, and they're so hard to come by, you definitely want to look into farming it after you clear the shop. Continually farm the boss just to get drops, right? I'm not talking about the boxes. You buy the boxes as a one-time use, but the boss himself, like in Expeditions, will drop these specific sets of sub gems. Okay, so make sure y'all check that out. Don't forget, I'll have some content for the Fire Advent coming out. But here's the banners we talked about, guys. Make sure y'all try and skip those unless you love them. And here we go, boys. Here's something super juicy. Last thing we'll talk about in this video. 5-star hero Death Dealer Ray balance adjustment. This is out of the balance patch schedule. This is so fast. He's still on the banner. You can still pull for him as of recording this video. This is a very rare thing. I think the last time it happened was with Ed, and that was also a very rare occasion. But let's see what they're changing here. So his anatomical mutation, his skill 2, is now going to grants effectiveness and pestilence to all allies. He already did that, right? Increase effectiveness. Okay, but now he increases combat radius of the caster himself by 50% as well. I believe that's what they're actually changing here. So he's going to give a self CR 50% push after giving the bonuses and 20% push to his allies, which is huge. And on top of that, guys, they're removing this red part here. Where this is what when I tested him, guys, I didn't really fully read the text, but obviously now that I know his pestilence can't work with counters, extra attacks, or dual attacks, it says here, now they can. So counter Bellions, counter Armins, whatever you guys have, counter Dizzies is going to be super, super fun. I think that's going to be actually really nice in terms of how we can build and play other units with him, team comp wise. And on top of that, the other red note that's getting changed, guys, that's getting removed, is he'll also give himself pestilence. So 50% combat readiness push, he'll grant himself pestilence, and then remember his skill 1 detonates venoms as well. So that's actually that's a pretty significant change. Do I predict, remember this is just a prediction, we don't know how this is actually going to make him, how good it's going to make him, or if it's going to change much at all until it's actually out and we can test. But is this going to make players that didn't pull for him really want to pull for him now, or players that didn't like him, that don't like Venom, is this going to make him a must pull? I don't think so. Venom is still kind of hard to pull off, and this is going to make him a lot more usable for sure. These buffs are very nice, don't get me wrong, but I don't think anyone that already didn't like his kit, that didn't like his looks, I don't think this is going to make you instantly want to get him. I think instead it's going to be the players that were either on the fence or already have him. It's going to just make him feel a lot better. So I'm excited to test these changes, but I'd be careful trying to rush to get him, guys, if you think this is going to make him like a god tier unit or something. I'm not sure on all that yet. Okay, but yeah, I think let's wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. There is something important here, but a memory imprint, exclusive ingredient. There's so much in these patch notes, man. They hit us with so much content, but I still got to make that first impression video for Furies and Bihu, so check that out after this. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.